altered conformations. Now, this is a very important topic to be studied regarding the protein. Different factors actually cause the altered conformations of the protein. What does it mean? It means that a normal protein structure is lost due to different factors. So this altered conformation actually causes the two consequences. First of all, it leads to the formation of the prion proteins. Prion proteins. Now these prion proteins is the first consequence of the altered conformations of the protein. Now what are prion proteins? Prion proteins are the infectious entities which actually cause the inflammation or infection in our body. So what disease does prion protein cause? So this CretuzFeldt Jacob disease, it is actually the neurodegenerative disorder which actually affects our brain, and it is caused by the prion protein, which is actually the abnormal isoform of the cellular glycoprotein. So what happens, what causes this disease? Actually, there is a component which is known as the PRP cellular, prion protein cellular, in our body, which is present on our glial cells and brain. Present on the glial cells and brain. So what happens? This is non-infectious. This PRP cellular, it is the non-infectious entity. But somehow any you can say mutation occurs in it, and it is converted into the infectious prion protein SC secrepi, and this is the infectious entity which causes this disease. So what changes occurs in this non-infectious PRP cellular, which actually causes it to be converted into the infectious PRP secrepi? Actually, what happens that the alpha helices are changed with the beta sheets, and the second cause, it is the what happens that there is a three-dimensional conformational change that occurs in non-infectious PRP cellular to cause it to change into the infectious PRP secrepi. So another factor that is responsible for formation of this infectious entity, it is the three-dimensional conformational change. In that molecule. So this is how this CretuzFeldt Jacob disease is caused due to the altered conformation that actually produces this prion protein, and then these prion proteins causes this disease. And this is the whole procedure that how this disease is caused. Now, discussing about the second consequence of the altered conformation of proteins. Now discussing about the second consequence of the altered conformation of the protein, and that second consequence, it is the amyloid formation. Amyloid formation which occurs in our body. Amyloid formation. Now I will tell you briefly that how this amyloid formation took place. Actually what happens that there a mutation occurs in our gene, and that mutation actually leads to the formation of an abnormal protein. So what happens that long fibril protein structures are formed, and which consist of the beta braided sheets, which are known as the amyloid. So these amyloid are the abnormal protein structures which actually accumulate in our brain, and cause the Alzheimer disease, which is you can say the primary cause of dementia in our older adults. And dementia, you know, it is the loss of memory. So these amyloid substances, or these amyloid which are the abnormal protein, accumulates in our brain to cause the Alzheimer disease. And also I want to discuss a major component which is present in this amyloid and which is known as the amyloid beta. Now I want to discuss a very important component of this amyloid, which is the amyloid beta. This amyloid beta is a very important component of this amyloid, and it is a substance consisting of the 42 amino acids in it. 42 amino acids it consists of, and it actually come from the, or it actually derives from the larger amyloid precursor protein. So it derives from the, this amyloid beta is derived from the larger amyloid precursor protein. So what does this amyloid beta do? Now what does this amyloid beta do? This amyloid beta actually accumulates in our brain parenchymal tissues and in the blood vessels to cause the Alzheimer disease. So this amyloid beta accumulates in our brain parenchymal tissues, brain parenchymal tissues, and blood vessels. So this accumulation causes the Alzheimer disease. This is a very lethal disease in that occurs in our body, Alzheimer disease. And this Alzheimer disease, it is actually the cause of dementia in the older adults. Cause of dementia. We know that dementia, it is the loss of memory in the older adults. Loss of memory in older adults. So this is how the amyloid formation occurs, and how this causes the Alzheimer disease. I have explained it all, and now I would like to tell you about the second factor which causes the Alzheimer disease. We know that amyloid beta aggregates and accumulates in the brain parenchymal tissue to cause the Alzheimer disease. This is the one factor. Now I would like to tell you about the second factor which causes the Alzheimer disease. So this formation of neurofibrillary tangles occurs in our neuron, which actually blocks the actions of the neuron. So this blocks the action of neuron. And what causes this formation of neurofibrillary tangles? This is due to the defective tau protein. This defective tau protein causes the formation of neurofibrillary tangles, which actually cause the Alzheimer disease. And if we talk about this tau protein, when it is in its normal form, this tau protein in its normal form causes the formation of microtubules. And we know that microtubule is a very essential component in formation of the spindle fibers. So this tau protein, defective tau protein, causes the formation of neurofibrillary tangles, which actually block the action of neuron, ultimately causing the Alzheimer disease. Now talking about the Parkinson disease. Parkinson disease is also a disease related to the brain, in which abnormal electrical discharges occur, and which actually you can say affect our normal functioning of the body. So how this Parkinson disease occurs? Parkinson disease occurs like the same way as the Alzheimer disease occurs in the older adults. What happens that amyloid aggregates in the brain which causes this disease. So amyloid formation also occurs in the Parkinson disease as like of the Alzheimer disease. And there is a major difference between the Parkinson disease and the Alzheimer disease. And we have discussed earlier that in Alzheimer disease, amyloid formation occurs from the abnormal proteins which consist of the long fibrous structures that was containing the beta platelet sheets. But in the case of Parkinson disease, amyloid formation occurs from the protein which is known as the alpha synuclein protein. So this is the major difference, that in Parkinson disease, amyloid formation occurs from the alpha synuclein protein which aggregates in the brain and causes this Parkinson disease. So this concludes our lecture, and hope you have understood all the topics well. And last but not the least, don't forget subscribing MS Lectures. Thank you.